I really like that there's some really good examples of what people are doing. Things are starting for like where we at and where we've evolved over the last few years, and how companies from different stages can really come in and take key takeaways away.
One of the reasons I love attending conferences like this is because there's less government people. I know that sounds kind of interesting, but we have a lot to learn from what private sector and academia, nonprofits, NGOs are doing, but also from each other. And so it's great to be able to have a way to meet other people who are doing similar things and have similar constraints as we do. Like DoD is very close to State Department in terms of operational constraints and such. But then also seeing what are the possibilities and potentials by meeting people who are working on the outside and maybe have a few less regulations and rules.
I mean, mostly we make sure that people understand what we're doing in this space and that we're helping our clients navigate this space. So I think in that respect, it was successful, and I've had some good conversations with people about those sorts of things.
Participating in the conference is great. Really enjoyed the audience and the feedback, thinking about advertising and thinking about where social networking is going. I think always doing this kind of thing in LA is always very interesting. It's a lot different than doing things up north, where it's very much more technology focused. Down here it's very entertainment focused and a lot of content companies, so it's always interesting to kind of capture that focus. But yeah, I had a great time. Really enjoyed doing my presentation.
Well, it's good. I think it's a good mix of people from the industry, good players, very interesting segments dealing with social media. It's very effective.
I've never been to the event before, so when I was invited to speak, I took the opportunity. So far, it has been great to see some case studies of other companies and what other companies are doing in the space, and just network with people.
I sat through 3 presentations and they were very interesting. I especially enjoyed the woman from the State Department, the person from the Israeli consulate.
Well, the conference it has a nice range of social networking things. In my case, I talked about enterprise, but there's a lot of things that across the board talk about monetization and some of the things that are important to marketers.
I came mostly to see if I could be on track of any new technologies that were available to me. I handle the community and social media projects for the company.
It seems very interesting, and I noticed a lot of people taking a lot of notes, and I walked into the tail end of the last guy's presentation and it seemed very interesting and business driven. I wish I had been there a little bit earlier to hear more.
It's great networking. Clearly, these are leaders who are doing social media in their respective industries. I think they bring best practices and very innovative ideas.
A lot of really knowledgeable, smart, savvy people in working for companies that I've admired for a while, and also companies who are competitors, but not in a bad way. I've met some folks from some of the vendors that I'm interested in maybe moving forward on some business with. I've heard ideas that were like, wow, aha moment, or seen examples of things that I'm thinking about doing for a long time but just haven't found the right vendor or tool set.
There's Intel, there's various government groups, a bunch of different companies all coming at this from a different angle, so that's good.
Companies, folks I talked to from Cisco, Adobe, US government, they had a great case studies and interesting industry examples of how they're actually incorporating their social media element in their strategy and kind of marrying the traditional marketing element with the new digital element.
There's some folks from Google here, there's some folks from Accenture.
I think the most interesting thing for me was to see more of the people who actually live these roles and do this every day and see what their on the ground perspective is. And I get that when I talk to clients as well, but it's always good to get different perspectives, because actually I'm spending a lot of time in Europe these days. So seeing the kind of the American perspective has been good as well.
One of the interesting case studies was American Family Insurance. They have an interesting console that they created for their Facebook integration, and it's working great for them. And it's really definitely one that I haven't heard before, so it was new for me.
Like the Shoutlet, the company that they've partnered with to create some 1,500 Facebook pages for their agents, and kind of manage the social content.
This was American Family Insurance.
Yeah, that was like, wow, that answered to my prayers right there. So I'm really looking forward to talking to them some more.
If you are just starting with social media, it's great to go to different events and just kind of listen to how other companies and other organizations approaching social media, and where do they start, and what are the mistakes that they're making that you might want to avoid by learning from this type of experience. So I think that's the most important thing I could say.